Why is Russia afraid to use nuclear weapons? The Russia-Ukraine war has raised important questions concerning nuclear weapons and Russia's reluctance to use them. As the fight continues and losses mount, the world wonders why Russia doesn't use its nuclear arsenal. International implications and geopolitical considerations complicate this sensitive position. A high-stakes conflict, the Russia-Ukraine war. The Russia-Ukraine war has been an extended conflict in which Russia has experienced significant losses and difficulties. Ukraine's use of drones to attack Moscow, coupled with its evident capacity to field tens of thousands of drones, is suggestive of NATO support. The conflict has reached a stage where Russia has become involved in a difficult battle against Ukraine, which continues to pursue victory with determination. The dilemma of nuclear weapons. In spite of the escalating intensity of the conflict, Russia's refusal to deploy nuclear weapons is remarkable. The primary reason for this restraint is the potential effects of such a decision. Initiating a nuclear attack would incentivize the United States and Western nations to intervene collectively, resulting in even greater political instability. Weighing consequences. Russia's delicate balancing act. The difficult challenge of evaluating the aftermath of a nuclear attack falls to Russia. It could potentially end the ongoing conflict but also provoke an open and coordinated Western response. This counterproductive outcome could escalate the situation, plunging Russia into a larger conflict that could result in significant territorial losses and increased global isolation. The looming U.S. factor. Consistently, the United States has sought to exploit Russia's vulnerabilities. Any use of nuclear weapons by Russia could give the United States leverage, allowing them to manipulate global public opinion against Russia. Undoubtedly, the US and NATO would use this scenario to their advantage, orchestrating efforts to undermine Russia's influence. A strategic perspective. Russia is different from the United States because of its military culture and national identity. Even though Russia has a past of being aggressive, it knows what a nuclear strike would mean in the world today. The US and NATO would pounce on any mistake they thought Russia made, so Russia needs to figure out if its armed power is strong enough to balance the power of Western countries. Current battlefield realities. In the current war, Russia's lack of conventional weapons is clear. Russia is vulnerable because its weapons have been damaged in war, and it can't stop drone attacks on Moscow very well. In light of these facts, using nuclear weapons would be a very dangerous bet. The world order and public perception. If Russia used nuclear weapons, it would change the way the world works. The United States thinks of itself as the most powerful country in the world, so it would fight to keep that position. A move like this would make Russia an outcast, cutting it off from international cooperation and making other countries afraid of it. The stigma of nuclear weapons. The profound dread of nuclear weapons has a pervasive effect on global public opinion. There is a perception that the use of such weaponry will cause irreversible harm on a global scale. Any nation that employed them would be considered a menace to international peace and stability. Upholding international norms. In today's international arena, only a handful of nations possess nuclear capabilities. Infraction of the unspoken rules regulating these weapons would establish a perilous precedent and result in severe consequences. Therefore, Russia's prudence originates from a desire to avoid international condemnation and isolation. The consequences of nuclear aggression. Russia's acts would be criticized around the world if it used nuclear weapons. This would be a big problem. The confusion that would follow would be Russia's fault, making it important to look closely at how it makes decisions. Russia is not ready to take on this kind of responsibility. The path forward. The situation has not yet reached a point where nuclear weapons should be used. Russia keeps looking for other ways to end the conflict that don't involve taking such extreme steps. Future events, like the US presidential election, are hard to predict, which makes it even more important to be careful. A patient approach. Russia's calm shows as the rest of the world watches and waits. The country is ready to weather the storm, look at new developments, and figure out if there might be a change in how the war is going. Russia hasn't used its nuclear weapons because it still has hope for a peaceful solution and a feeling of optimism. Conclusion. Geopolitics, military strategy, and global views intersect in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russia's hesitation to use nuclear weapons shows its awareness of the far-reaching effects. Russia's cautious attitude highlights the delicate balance between power, moderation, and international stability at a crossroads. Thanks for watching.